Hey guys, Christine here, and I am excited to share another book with you today. I have been really blessed with getting some really amazing books to look at to share with you guys, and I am just as excited about this one as I have been about the others. I have a bunch of curriculum I'm looking at coming up, and I just have tons of fun. I don't even want to call them reviews because I don't really feel like I'm reviewing them. It's more of just being able to share amazing resources with you guys, and that makes me happy. That's why I do what I do, is I'm able to find things that I love that are helping us in our homeschool, and I'm able to share it with you guys, and it just makes me really happy. So today we are going to look at Plan Your Year by Pam Barnhill. I know a lot of you probably already follow her. She is an amazing homeschool guru and just an amazing resource to follow. So I have her tagged in my post, so feel free to go over to her page. Definitely check out my post I have linked for you guys too, because it has where to buy the book. It has free printables that she has for you, and it also, there is a free ebook you get when you buy the book. So the book officially, it's up for pre-order right now on Amazon and on her website. I have them both linked for you guys in my post, but it's officially being launched, I believe, on May 6th. So if you order between now and May 6th, you get the free ebook Plan Your Life along with getting the actual hard copy of Plan Your Year. So if you guys have been following me long enough, you know I'm not a huge planner. So it's kind of funny that I decided to work with Pam on Plan Your Year, because I was kind of like, okay, maybe it'll help me with my homeschool planning game, because I'm not in love with planning. And she totally changed my mind on homeschool planning. And I want to share with you a few things in the book that stuck out to me the most and why it has changed my mind on homeschool planning. Because to me, homeschool planning was always really stressful. And we haven't actually planned in years. For one, because I'm very spontaneous and I kind of just decide, let's do this now, or let's cover this time period, or let's just jump into this lesson because that's what my kids are into right now. And we're still going to do all of that with more of our homeschool planning we're implementing from this book. But the thing that she really points out through the book is that we are to consider our children in our planning, and it isn't to create more stress. So that's what planning did for me before, is I would be stressed out because if I had something on Monday, I felt like I had to do that on Monday, and if we didn't, we were behind. And if I didn't have what was done on Tuesday, if we didn't, we were behind. And then I started doing more of like a weekly plan, like as long as we get this done during this week, we're good. But then the same thing would happen. If we didn't get to do this that week, then we were behind. And none of that is true with homeschooling, because that's kind of the beauty of it, is that you're never behind, because you're able to tailor the education exactly for your family and exactly for your specific kids. So there is really no such thing as being behind, but that's what planning did for me, is it always made me feel so behind if we weren't able to accomplish stuff. Because I mean, this past school year alone, we had an evacuation for a hurricane. We were gone for over 2 weeks. And we had a move. We moved from our house into a camper, and we basically had to take an entire month off of school because we were moving ourselves. We didn't have movers doing any of the work for us. So this year was a little bit of a whirlwind in our homeschool, and going like traditional formal schoolwork, bookwork is not going to happen right now. So if I were to have a planner, it would have really freaked me out, because I'd have been like, we're not getting any of this stuff done. We're so behind. But that's the thing. So she talks about that in the book, and just, what is your vision for your homeschool, first of all? And my favorite quote that she put in the book, she said, homeschooling without a vision is kind of like wandering around in the dark with your hands tied behind your back, and then being surprised when you stub your toe. So I don't know about you guys, I'm a big toe stubber. That happens to me a lot. My husband makes fun of me for it, because it's like if there's any piece of furniture, my toe is going to find it. So that really spoke to me, because I'm like, that's really true. If we don't have that vision for our homeschool, we're going to end up just stubbing our toes, right? So to have that homeschool vision. So, and what is that for your family? So that's another thing, is that no matter what your homeschool vision is, that's not going to be the same as your neighbor or your best friend or whatever. You're all going to have different homeschool visions. So to really keep that in mind when you're planning for your homeschool, because you're going to have a different vision, which means you're probably going to have a different homeschooling method. So that's another thing, is she really lays out the different methods in the book beautifully, I might add. She has some amazing resources in here. So when you're looking at what homeschool method would fit your family best, she has different resources, even different planners, all kinds of stuff for you guys to look at so you can get a real idea, because her whole purpose behind this is that we need to plan before we curriculum purchase. Let your mind wrap around that for just a minute. We need to plan before we buy our curriculum. And it's not that we're planning our lessons, right? It's that we are planning our methods and looking at our vision and just really getting that grasp of, what do I want my homeschool to look like? How will it benefit my kids for our homeschool to look like this? So it's not about us, because it's our kids who are learning. So sometimes we have to take that step back and say, I may like this method, but which method does my child like? What method will work with their learning style the best? I know that's something I've really had to give up over the years, and not necessarily use what homeschooling method I like or what books I would choose, but which ones will my kids benefit from the most. And sometimes that might really surprise you too. And if you're just starting and you don't know what that method is, then of course start with which one speaks to you as the teacher, as the homeschool mom. And from there, you can start to learn your kids' learning methods, and you can tweak things, because every single year is going to be different. There's a lot of years where I even change things up halfway through the school year, and that's totally fine. So just, but she breaks it down for you so well that I think you guys will be really surprised to see just how confident it makes you by looking at those different homeschool methods and how she breaks it down for you. So yes, you need to find the method that works for you, for your home, for your school, before you even go to buy that curriculum. And then from there, you can go starting looking into those curriculum choices and going, okay, this is what's going to help my homeschool to get off to a better start. Another thing that she talked about is to not be held captive by the standard K-12 school practices. And that's something, luckily, I have been able to ditch in our homeschool, and it was really hard because we've been homeschooling since the beginning, since my son was in kindergarten. He's almost in the 5th grade now, so we're wrapping up on our 6th year of homeschooling. But we did start with the homeschool charter, so we were technically a part of the public school system. They gave us the curriculum to use at home, and a lot of it was homeschool curriculum. Like, we used Saxon math even as a part of the charter. Some of the stuff was designed by the charter school, like a lot of the language arts wasn't necessarily from a book. It was lessons that the teachers there had planned for us to do. So we were definitely doing like the full K-12 standard of stuff, and we were doing so much, and we were very lucky to be part of to have a teacher that was very relaxed. And so she's like, you guys are doing way more than you're expected to do for this kindergartner. So it was really awesome. I know some people weren't as lucky to have such an awesome laid back teacher like we were. So she was able to tone me down and kind of get me out of that mindset a little bit and to be like, have fun with it. It's okay. You don't have to do everything we're giving you. So just to kind of get away from that K-12 mindset and just, realize that it is a homeschool, so it's going to be different than a brick and mortar school. Because that's a huge struggle for a lot of homeschoolers. And so she does touch on that in the book. And so Pam used to actually be an educator in the school system. I can't remember if she said it was private or public school. So she, she's seen both sides of it. And so that's something that's really great, having a planning guide from her. So this is not a planner. It is a planning guide. It is an actual book where she is giving you that step-by-step of how to plan your homeschool year. So don't be deceived about that. Don't think it is a planner. It is how to build your homeschool plan, and just so much information so that you are actually going to use the curriculum that you end up buying, and you are going to have a stress-free, confident homeschool year, as opposed to being stressed out and wondering how you're going to get everything done. So she has planning sheets after every chapter, and she also has these on her website for free to print out. So I do have a link of that on my post too, so you can go there and get all the free printables. So at the end of all the chapters, it has like the Outlook inventory, some questions, homeschool vision page, there's some really cool planning sheets that I want to talk about. So she has even lesson plan requirement list and procedures, lesson plan list, all of that. There's some stuff where you can even break down, which chapter was that at the end of, where you can break down hour by hour, what your days look like by hour. I don't remember which chapter that's at the end of. I should have had my printables here, but my 1-year-old already got into them. So they kind of have pen all over them. I have to make out some new printables. I can't find it. So it has like weekly plans, monthly plans. I think it even has a page for hour by hour. So that's something I've always bashed, is I've always said the people who plan hour by hour are crazy because they are way too structured for me, and there's no way I could plan my day hour by hour and have it go that way. So she talks about that. She does not recommend doing that as a, this is what I have to do hour by hour. She says to put in, if you put in how your days go hour by hour, it helps you find the free time you didn't know that you would have. Kind of blew my mind a little bit there, okay? Because we have a very, very, very busy schedule. I've got 3 kiddos. One of them is 1, one of them is 6, one of them is 10. We are a part of a million outside activities. We go to karate. We have all these things we're involved in, okay? So sometimes finding that 20 minutes where I can even work, that's one of the things that I actually had a whole conversation with my friend, which is totally off topic, so I'm not going to talk about it too much, but a whole conversation with my friend about how much more work I could do on my blog if I didn't have this, and this, but that there's no way to give that up because these are my kids. They are worth so much more than me doing another blog post, right? Like, it'll get done in time. But I could find that 20 minutes, that half hour, maybe even that hour in my day, if I just sat down and did a rough sketch of the hour by hour of how each day goes during the week, and I could probably find that hidden time I did not realize that I had. And that's something else too that my husband always teases me about, is I'm not the best at time management, that I will totally, like, I'm a big rabbit hole person, to where I hope I pass it on to my kids in a good way, that they feel like they can go down those rabbit holes and find that fun stuff. But I do that on Facebook, or I do that just on whatever project I'm working on. And sometimes those can turn into really beautiful things. I'm not saying not to be a rabbit hole person. But if I were to be better with that time management and have those plans for that hour by hour, day by day kind of thing, then I could say, okay, I know I have 20 minutes here to where we can run this errand. No, we have 20 minutes here where we could fit in this lesson, or 20 minutes here to work or clean the house or whatever it is I need to do. And that can make our days go so much more smoothly by being able to find that time, not feeling locked in by that schedule, but being able to find that free time by doing those planning pages for your daily activities and for your daily tasks. So it doesn't mean that if you give yourself an hour for a math lesson, that if you go over into that hour and a half, oh no, my whole day is wrecked. Like, be flexible with it, but use those as guides and as tools to help you find that time you didn't realize you had in your day. So there's all kinds of planning pages. I think there's like 12 or 13. There's tons of them. Like I said, my daughter drew all over them, so I don't have them here in a pile to show you. But if you go to my post and go to her free planning pages, I have a picture for it on there for you guys, I believe, as well, that you can go to those and get those free planning pages. And they're also in the back of this book, but that way you have them loose to where if you want to put them in your binder or whatever too, as opposed to just having them in the book. So, very quick, my kids are waiting to be loud again. I said, please keep it down for this video, but I wanted to get on and talk to you guys about this. Please check out my post, check out this book, because like I said, it has changed my view on homeschool planning. I'm pretty sure next year I'm going to be doing a homeschool plan, which is going to be a whole new thing for me, because I am just, like I said, I'm not a planner. I know I need to start planning to help better with that time management. Some of it may be more record keeping too, and that's something I've wanted to implement more, is that record keeping and just going, what books did we actually read this year? Because I can't remember which ones we've read because I haven't been writing them down. And so using that planner as that good tool, as my record keeper, and also as the pre-planning that I can write things down so I'm not forgetting my ideas. If you're like me, you're scatterbrained and you're going to forget the things that you thought of this amazing idea, lock it in that planner. So stay tuned for actual planner news outside of plan your year, because I am planning a planner and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. I'm working with my friend who's a graphic designer on making a homeschool planner, and you can really implement these ideas from Plan Your Year into my homeschool planner, and I'm super pumped about it. So we've got some work to do. I should have planned it better and planned it faster so it would be ready for this time of year for you guys to pick up. It will be ready before the official school year starts. I know, depending on what time you start your school year, but for the traditional school year calendar, it will be ready before then. But yeah, some of these amazing ideas of how to plan your homeschool are going to be in the planner so that you guys can implement it and have an amazing, stress-free, confident, purposeful homeschool year for the new school year. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments, and I will see you guys next week. Have a good one. Happy Easter.